Well, it's a combination of stuff.
Yeah. All righty. Should be live now, right, baby? All right. Let's get it. Let's get it on, Mr. Byron. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to today. We got a lot to talk about. So live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale. I'm actually in I'm in Miami, Fort Lauderdale anymore. I'm down south of Miami. Welcome to the Jersey Boy Sports Talk, hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Arocho, brought to you by the Sportscast. Today is August 4th, 2022. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Sportscast at all our channels. We have YouTube, hit your notifications. You have playlists for different NBA, football, Jersey Boy Sports Talks, which is NFL, Spotify, iTunes. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Jersey Boy Sports Talk podcast and leave a rating. It'll help us out tremendously. And we are always streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube every Thursday at what time, Byron?
8 o'clock, man. 8 o'clock.
It's amazing. 8 o'clock. Everything. Exactly. So please subscribe. We have some we always have some latest updates. People submit items they want us to talk about and getting ready for the football season. So we're pretty excited right now about what's taking place. So Mr. Byron, you notice my background's a little different right now.
Yeah, sure must be. They ain't no crocodiles around there?
No, you know how you could tell? It was pretty interesting. I didn't realize this. A long time ago, somebody told me, you know how you know there's no crocodiles is when you see duck in the water.
Well, you see ducks?
Yeah, they were all out front. Yeah, well, ain't
Okay.
right now, but they're all around. So that's when you know that the alligators ain't in the water. Now I'm actually I sold my house. We closed on a house super quick, bro. And then we're waiting to move into our new place in September. So I'm staying at my in-laws, my sister-in-laws, down in South Florida. Oh, that's far. But so I figure enjoy the backyard and have a sports talk. And my wife told me not to get too excited, to keep it down for the neighbors. So she was trying to control that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Hopefully a big Labrador don't start barking, but that's the deal. But it's actually nice. It's not as hot as I thought it would be. And bro, I'm tired. It's been a long journey working and trying to sell the house. We sold it, bro, 2 days. Bang. It was awesome.
Hey, that's the way it's going now. Hot market.
It was hot, bro. So I'm pretty excited about that in the next chapter in our lives. And so how's it doing in Philly? I see you sweating there.
Yeah, it's hot, bro, because our air conditioner went out today.
Oh,
yeah, boy. And they're not gonna get here till Tuesday. I even tried to pull the old guy, senior citizen. I'm falling apart because of the heat kind of thing.
How about military? How about sheriff?
Nothing.
So why don't you go to your mom's or your sister's?
No, I'm good. I'll stay here.
Oh man, let me tell you, when that happened, remember that happened to me. I came down here. No way I couldn't do it.
Well, we got an air conditioner, like one of the big, floor air conditioning stuff. So we put that up in the bedroom. So we're good. But I'll stay.
Yeah, I can see you. I never seen you ever see.
Sweating sweat.
I don't think I've ever seen you do that during the show. Maybe once out of 2 years. So, but see what I mean? This dog is like Clifford. It's a he's a year-old Labrador, and Labradors are puppies for 2 years.
Right.
So, bro, wherever I'm at, it's like around. I tried to take a rest for 3 minutes. I didn't even get that. He scared me by barking. Can you hear him a lot?
Yeah, I can hear him.
All right, you got to go inside. Come on. Man, this is gonna be tough, man. They got a doggy door, so I gotta figure this out. All right, so let's jump right into it. All right, I'm gonna move him inside so you can still see me, right? So I'm gonna walk around. So let's talk to me about the minicamp. One of the topics we're gonna talk about is Giants minicamp, and then I'm gonna talk to you about any other stuff with Rob.
What do you want to know about the minicamp? The defense. The defense is ahead of the offense like usual. Thibodeau is looking pretty good. Evan Neal is looking like the typical new tackle. He's had his problems. Daniel Jones has changed up and started looking a little better now since the pads have come on, because before it wasn't too good. They're saying that Saquon is looking explosive, and that Darnell Holmes, one of the cornerbacks, is really shining out there as probably the third corner, the slot corner for the Giants this year.
So what's happening with why are you saying with Daniel Jones?
Well, people don't realize. Well, because you played the game.
It's a new offense.
When you first get the camp, the defense is always ahead of the offense, always, because offense, a lot of timing and all sorts of stuff, and then defense, is reaction. You're reacting to whatever the offense is doing. So just naturally, the defense is going to be ahead of the offense. And Daniel was he wasn't looking too swift when the first couple of days, but now they got the pads on, and he's doing a lot better. Hooking up with Wandell Robinson, Galladay has looked good, so they're getting there.
But I don't want to go on this again, but again with Capraro, that's why you said that when an offensive player messes up, you know what I mean? It's worse than if a defensive player worse. I mean, you just said it, like defense gets to roam a little bit. You know what I mean? So
we're more reactive.
Yeah. So, you have to get caught in a broken coverage, right? You got to admit that there's a lot of times where there's, messed up plays defensively that they just didn't catch it, or maybe didn't always capitalize it. We only talk about the very few times in its 6 points, right? But offense has to click. People could get hurt if a guy doesn't pull. So anyhow, that was my argument. We could agree to disagree. It was just the point. But anyways, all right. So any other words with Garoppolo?
No, they pretty much put that to bed, because you got, he's $24 or $26 million, against the cap. We don't have salary cap money to get this guy. He would have to take a pay cut, or the 49ers would have to pick up a lot of his contract. And right now, no, that's not a good idea. I can see if Daniel was, really screwed up and just a hot mess. And you figure between the two of them, if they want to run the kind of offense that Kansas City runs and Buffalo runs, you have to have a more mobile quarterback. Daniel, one thing he can run. He can run. Garoppolo is not going to be able to do some of the things that they want to do, with the offense they're going to run.
Yeah, but like I said, I was just talking. I think I said it last week. I'm not sure, but I'm going to say it one more time. I just think that he had success in San Francisco. That's the first statement, right? Okay.
Right.
And he had success against Murray, Russell Wilson, and Bradford. And then before Bradford, that quarterback is pretty good too, right? At least was a higher pick, was everything. They talked more about him. Was it Goff? No, Jared Goff. That was there.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So I look at it as if you take, those three quarterbacks, and you had success. I think like that, those three quarterbacks, okay, are way more. I think are better than the three quarterbacks he would be playing against in the NFC East.
Yeah, but you really don't know with him. He has surgery on his shoulder, so nobody's seen him throw.
I'm not saying okay, but let's just keep that out for now. I'm just trying to put the logic. Let's say everything was equal, though, right? You're playing against. You got to agree that the quarterbacks in the NFC East, I don't know how many you would rank them over the quarterbacks other than Garoppolo in that division. What's that? The NFC West?
Yes.
Right? Is that a fair statement? Tyler Murray's pretty good. How would you compare him to Dak?
He's better than Dak.
Okay. How would you compare Russell Wilson to Dak?
He's better than Dak.
Okay. How would you compare Stafford?
Bradford.
Better. And then
Stafford,
what about
Stafford? Yeah.
And what about Goff?
Goff is in Detroit.
No, but when he was there, because Stafford was there only 1 year.
I'd take Garoppolo over Goff.
Right. I'm just saying to you when he competed against them. So I'm just trying to put the comparison of the competition of who you're playing against twice and to have success against those quarterbacks. Right. Anyhow, so we'll move on. But anyhow, that was my whole piece, letting him trying to figure out how to get him there. But if it's a salary cap issue, it's a salary cap issue.
And then the last thing is that Matt Cano, one of the offensive tackles that they signed, like one of the first free agent guys, his career is probably going to be over. He had a neck problem where he had surgery on his neck, I guess, last year and didn't play. So he's got the little tingling in his neck. So he left camp and he's probably going to be out. So now you have the rookie from North Carolina is now the swing tackle for both sides and also the guard. So he's learning all four positions from North Carolina.
Just for the Giants.
Yes, the rookie. Yep.
So now we're back to our offensive line.
Yeah, we're
a little bit of challenges.
Yeah, we're short one, and then Feliciano, the center, he just started practicing this week. He has some kind of heat issues or something, but basically means he wasn't in shape, but he got there. Where they had to put, Shane Lemieux, the guard, the guy that got hurt at center. They tried Brenderson at center, that didn't work. They tried Douglas at center, that didn't work. Dexter Lawrence has been looking like King Kong, the last couple of days because of guys that they had at center. So when they put Shane Lemieux in there, it pretty much kind of got stable, and it also helped that they did have a fight between Lawrence and Lemieux to get it going a little bit.
So let me ask you a quick question. Go back to Garoppolo real quick though. Right now he's with San Francisco and he's got a contract. They still got to pay him, right? How do they get out of so what's the difference if they cover some of their contract? They're gonna be paying.
They trade him to the Giants and they want to pick up $9 million, and then the Giants going to pay the other 15. They can do stuff like that, but I ain't gonna say I'm pretty sure, but I'm thinking that they don't want to just cut him and not get anything. That's what the whole probably issue is. So we'll see how that works. He's getting paid. That's probably guaranteed the money. He's probably getting that regardless if he plays for him or not.
Right. So I guess just my logic would be, well, if you're gonna, get something for it in addition, cut 15 million off your payroll, right? Right. I mean, so it would be worth them to pick up part of the contract and help the Giants get him, because I don't know where else he would go.
Because that's all they keep linking him to was the Giants. They say his agent has been in contact with the Giant front office. The front office is saying that they haven't, and it's been going back and forth like that all week.
Usually news don't come out. You know what I mean? Because what happens is they don't want to mess with Daniel Jones's head, right? It's got to be difficult.
No, not now.
Yeah. Well, let's move on because that could go on. But I'll take Garoppolo. Ain't no doubt about it there.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that. Again, this wasn't a discussion before, so. Daniel Jones, I want to do well. We got the new regime, but it's already been said that if he doesn't do well, then we're going to be looking for a quarterback or in the draft or whatever the deal is, right? And I just go back to that. I'll take a Garoppolo to compete against the quarterbacks that we have to compete against in the NFC East. I think he makes a difference, massive difference, and he's got winning in him from both Patriots and from San Francisco. So it's a different game. But anyways, all right. So I'm happy about Saquon. Let's just hope he, stays healthy, man.
Yeah, they said he's been explosive. They said, he looks like Saquon again.
And that's got to say something though, because of the fact that they're also mentioning that the defense is looking good.
Yep.
Right. So for him to be explosive at the same time, while they're saying the defense is really just trying to light up the offense, that means he's doing something.
Yep.
Right. All right. So, okay. Now I know we got a few other things we want to get into, but all right, the Cowboys. All right. Let me just talk about what came up. Now, I don't know how far it is and so forth, but I thought it was just good for dialogue. And that's why I had text you. And it's funny. We text you about Odell Beckham. Okay. Odell Beckham. They said, in the Super Bowl. Right now, they is get up. So all the sports commenters, so people have a tendency to say they, and you don't know who that. Okay, on get up. They said what I said before. I don't know if I said he was the best, but something was wrong in Cleveland. That during the Super Bowl, he was the best player on the field until he got hurt.
True.
Okay. I'm impressed that you said that because you always give me crap about the Odell Beckham. Number one, and number two. So that's that. Number two, right? That the Dallas Cowboys are looking to figure out how to get him, or possibly looking how to get him. And then what's crazy is that if they do get Odell Beckham, they could have kept Amari Cooper for less money. Amari Cooper's a good receiver.
He's hurt too.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but he was a good receiver though.
Yes, he is.
He put up some numbers. Amari Cooper's a good receiver. So I'm just saying, and he's already there. He's in the system. Dak's already lit him up for yards. It just seems weird to, get rid of one player to go pay more for another player. Right? It just which I just wanted to bring that up, and the fact that Odell Beckham, was performing well, and which is, again, I am still perplexed with how poorly they utilized him in Cleveland.
Because they didn't have a quarterback.
That's the target for Baker Mayfield. All right, well, we'll see. Well, yeah, it's true. You saw what happened with Stafford, and now Odell Beckham is still with the Rams, though. No,
He's still a free agent.
He's a free agent, so that means he's not with any team, or he's with the Rams until he decides.
And guess who showed him some little love the other day?
Who?
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay.
You saw the head coach of Rams?
Yeah.
As far as come on, man, come on back. Come on, we'll make room for you. Come on back. Come on.
Why would it be? I mean, I would want to keep my receiver who produced. He put up some crazy numbers in 8 games plus playoffs.
Yeah, but he's not a number one receiver anymore because he's had 2 bad knee injuries. He's good, but he's not. He'll never be the same.
Yeah. Well, everybody gets older, but I think Sean McVay is going to do what he's got to do to keep as much as he can together, right? Why mess with a formula that was working?
Come on, OBJ, come on back home, man. Come on, because they're loaded receiver. They got Cooper Kupp, they got Allen Robinson from the Chicago Bears as a free agent, and one of the receivers, I forgot the guy's name. One of them just got hurt, so Van Jefferson. He's already had knee injuries, knee problems. So he's on the back burner. That's why OBJ came up with Sean McVay.
Yeah. Well, think about it. He was productive just with 8 seasons in a new offense with a new quarterback. Imagine you have him for the full season.
Yep.
Right? But if he's with nobody, I mean, he's not even working out with a team yet.
Nah, he's probably, he's working. I'm sure he's working out Florida, California, wherever he is, and just waiting to get that right contract, get that money.
Okay, we're going to get into some of the topics you have brought up. Okay, anything happening with the Eagles?
I got into it with these crybabies around here, man. They be killing me. The kid that they drafted, Jordan Davis, right, from Georgia, the one that's 6'6", 340 pounds, right? I got into it with a guy today because, he's a beast. He's the big. I was like, dude, you have a guy that's bigger than him on that team right now. The left tackle, Mulata, is 6'8", 6'9", 340 pounds. So if you think that the way he threw around these offensive linemen in the SEC and whatever he was doing playing, he only played 2 downs at a time. He was the Buckus Award winner or whatever thing, Lombardi Trophy winner, whatever as a defensive lineman. But he's not going to do the same thing that he did at Georgia in the NFL. All those guys are big. All of them are big. He's going to be a monster. He's going to be a beast. And I had to sit there and listen to that and enjoy. My guy, Jalen Hurts, has been kind of a little shaky.
In what respects?
As far as not throwing the ball where it's supposed to be.
Oh, man. I remember that we were talking about that tackle last year. I like him. He's like new to football, isn't he? He's like a Samoan or something.
He was a rugby player.
Rugby player from Australia, right?
And he's a singer.
Yeah.
Picture telling this guy 6'9", 340, 50 pounds that he can't sing. He's up on the stage. Picture what would happen.
Imagine somebody. Yeah, I think you just be in shock. With it's no different than somebody really tiny or a young person belting out incredible tunes, right? But somebody that big and a guy being able to sing, it's just amazing. That's just unfair. That's just unfair how some people get like so much talent, right? the ability to sing, the ability to play the NFL, rugby. I mean, oh my God,
Then you figure him being able to play rugby as big as he is. Picture him running that on a rugby field, with no pads on, no nothing. He's got a full head of steam running at somebody.
Mm-hmm. And rugby's all about pushing the pile.
Yeah.
So
that's a big man. And he came in and took over from, I think Andre Dillard was the first round pick that they had, the Eagles, that was the left tackle. And you're talking about a guy that was either a 6th or 7th round pick, took this guy's job. And now he's one of the best, top 5 offensive linemen, left tackles in all football. And he hasn't really played that long.
No, he hasn't. That's what we were talking about. That's why I like that guy. And how about Washington for my boy Aaron?
Nothing with that.
Nothing.
Nothing.
All righty. All right. So let's get into some of the pieces that we moved a little quick through the NFC East. I'm excited to hear about Saquon, the Cowboys. So we were moving, right? Bro, I'm clean out. And, for years, I was a huge Sports Illustrated person, and I kept them all. Man, I got to show you some of the Giants stuff that I have, and when they won, I have some incredible stuff, like all the Chicago Bulls runs. I got the Lakers, I got Kobe, I got Bird, I got all the Yankees runs. I got when Dallas and these guys were going at it. I mean, it's pretty interesting. So, but it was pretty cool. I got rid of a lot of them, the ones that weren't. But that's when you saw I got Elway. I kept like Brett Favre. I got Tiger Woods. Just certain things that I thought were something that I just wanted to keep. But it was pretty awesome to see all of those and how much I have in one era, especially like I only found like 6 or 7 with the Bulls when the Last Dance came out, and then when I now cleaned out the house, dude, I must have 15 with Rodman and all that, and have a lot of Kobe. So it was pretty cool to see that kind of stuff.
Did you keep those Kobe stuff at least?
Of course I kept Kobe. That's my point. Everyone I'm telling you are the ones I kept. It's the other ones I didn't. Right. I may have kept one. I have a few that I may just bring on the show but like, I think we talked about like a Mandridge, like the busts. Right. And then there were some I had to get rid of, but it was ones where like we were talking about the schools that were quarterbacks were all coming out and all that kind of stuff. Right. So, all right. So let me go in here and, all righty. So let's get right into, since we're in South Florida, I'm in super, super South Florida. Hold on a second, because my allergies are killing me, and now I'm outside. I wanted to be outside and relax. So tell me, Stephen Ross.
What, would you like to know? What, the slap in the wrist he just got? Well, let's see, they took the first round pick 2023. They took the 3rd round pick 2024. They fined him $1.5 million. And he can't go around the facility or whatever until October 17th. And that's all he got. They're talking about a guy that's worth, they talked about this morning. He's worth $8 billion. Do you really think that $1.5 billion, that's a drop in the bucket? That's some check that he probably has lying around on his, table. He should have got hammered. But it's, they did bring in, the independent judge, a former judge or prosecutor, whatever, female, to oversee this, and, so it's fair, because they didn't want, Odell to be the judge, jury, and executioner. But my question to you is, how is it that the employee, which is Roger Goodell, and I've said this before, discipline the employer, which is Ross, who's part of that whole, the 32 teams that own the team? How can he discipline any of them?
So your question is, Roger works for the owners.
Yes.
Yet Roger, you're saying, is disciplining the people a person he works for.
His boss. Yes. How does that work out?
Well, I could just tell you my experience, right? Sometimes there's a person that works for you, but like, especially if he's running a board and you know what I mean, and you funded the board, and the person, or your person's running a nonprofit, but they're the president of the nonprofit, and these are all the investors. Sometimes it's their job to be able to oversee some of that in the best interest of all, because he doesn't work just for Ross. He works for all 32
that's what
team
I
owners.
said. He works for all 32 of them.
Right. So he has a responsibility to keep that in line. Because think about it, right? His responsibility also went as far as when Jerry Jones first came into the league and was starting to do those, kind of contracts that were built around sponsorships. So he would work the deal out. Yeah. And, Goodell had to step in and put a stop to that.
Tagliabue. That was before him.
What's that?
That was Tagliabue.
Was it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's say it was Tagliabue. Okay. I'll give it to you, but it's the same role, right?
Right.
So all I'm saying to you is the same role, regardless who it is. The commissioner's job was to prevent that. That's why, when they get involved, it's starting to get dark. Shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Here. Okay. This is where it looks kind of shady. Okay. So you have Robert Kraft was doing whatever he was doing, as far as with the massage parlor. Yeah. Oh yeah. He was doing whatever he did, got off, because he used money and influence or whatever. So he got off from that. So that's what he did.
They didn't even get investigated.
Yeah. Then you have Daniel Snyder doing whatever he did. Right. Then he turns around. What does he turn around? Oh, it got real dark there. Then what does he turn around though?
Yeah, like real fast.
There, yeah. He was supposed to go before Congress, and he basically told Congress the first time, I'm out of forget that subpoena. I'm out of country. So then you got two owners. Then you got Jerry Jones with the baby mama drama, whatever he had going on. So you got three owners that basically, brought, dishonor or whatever upon the Shield. And what happened to them? The three owners.
Mm-hmm. Nothing.
Because,
but at least Kraft, you would think that was going to be a federal investigation, because they were talking about what they call trafficking and underage. Yeah. I mean, there was some serious stuff, and there was major players there. It wasn't just Kraft either.
Yeah, but what happened to him?
Nothing at all.
And then you got Ross. Now you have Ross as the fourth one, and basically they slapped him. That's a slap on the wrist. That's nothing.
But let's go right into Deshaun Watson then, right? So Deshaun Watson got suspended for 6 games, right?
Right.
But isn't there something else that's going to be coming down on him by the league or something?
No, because, the way it's set up, she gives the 6 days, whatever
6 games.
She gave them. And if the NFL doesn't feel that that's enough, they can appeal it, and then, which I don't know if they did today or tomorrow, whatever they're going to do. They had 3 days or whatever it was for them to appeal it to see if he's going to get more, if he's going to get less. But they could put their 2 cents in, as far as his suspension. I don't know, if they did with him.
Well, see, my only problem, we could talk about that a little bit, but my only problem with that is that it's like they're not stepping in to do anything more further for Ross. He's like, the player gets penalized, for 6 games, then they want to step in and set an example and do more, right? And then a guy like Ross, that doesn't happen, right? So I was looking at something today, and they said that they have 2 different rules as far as with the players' conduct. Whatever the players do is separate from what the owners do. So they have a whole completely different, the National Football League Players Association. So that's all over here for them. But then you have the owners, they have to deal with, basically Goodell, who's their, underling. And the funny part is that we thought Ross was getting penalized for the tanking, the 100,000 and all that. Now it comes out that is minimal what they're penalizing him for, but at the same time, now he was tampering with Brady at Patriots and at the Bucks,
and Sean Payton. Yeah, and what's going to happen?
We'll get into that one next.
He basically got a slap in the wrist. He's going to go on his yacht, his 450-foot yacht down there, and when I see you guys in October, he's going to go out and fields. He's going to go hang out somewhere, and it's nothing. He basically nothing. $1 million. Come on, man. He's probably got like I said before, he's probably got a check later on his desk with $1 million on.
I heard Flores dropped the suit too.
And I ain't hear that one yet. But he basically feels that he's been kind of sort of vindicated, as far as the way the whole thing went. The only thing I think he's probably upset that they really didn't say anything about the fact that with the tanking thing and the 100,000, they basically called the guy a liar. Wasn't true, whatever.
Right. Yeah. Well, so two things. One, like I said, I didn't know what his win game was. So at least he got Ross a little bit, which is nothing. And then two, again, I'm saying, he dropped. By him dropping that lawsuit, it's going to open up the doors more for him. And three, him being with Pittsburgh is a great place for him to be, and being under Tomlin, even better.
Yeah, but it's not to keep harping on that. It's not right. You have four. The four owners did whatever they did. Four of them. No discipline, no nothing, no dragging a name through the mud, nothing. Nothing happened to these four guys. But then you got, Mr. Watson has gotten, 6 games, might be more, might be less, or whatever. I'm going to throw your boy under the bus too. He knew it was against the rules for him to be on that bus, the bus, but the boat or wherever he was, Tom Brady, he knew that's against the rules for him to be sitting there trying to make a side deal, with his U of M alumni, guy. So what's going to happen to him? He should get a little something too.
But I read that the player can talk, but the others can't talk to the players. That's what I read, because when you sent that out to discuss today, I read there's no ramifications for Brady because players are always able to talk to whoever they want to talk to, right?
So it's okay.
But they can't be poached by another team.
But it's okay for him to go sit there and have a discussion with the owner of the Miami Dolphins, even though he's playing with New England or Tampa, whoever he was playing with at the time. So that's okay for him to be able to do that. Or the fact that he was trying to get, Sean Payton, to come down to Miami, to be the coach as well. And I don't know how far, because they say that both of them have the same agents, I think, those two. And I'm sure the agents, probably have those backdoor deals, before, like, when they have the free agency, all of a sudden the guy sign, free agency starts at 4:00. At 4:05, you got 15 guys signing. It started at 4, but then how is it you got 15 guys that are already signed 5 minutes in?
Well, I mean, I guess that's where, like, one, now I know they have the same agent. Peyton couldn't do it. But it's the players can. The players can talk to whoever they want to talk to. Number one. Number two, you got to also remember too that they're alumni, right? They're Michigan alumni. Number three, Brady was trying to figure out what he's going to do after retirement, even though he got a $300 million contract for sports analyst. But him buying into a team is an investment piece. The next piece is, you just said he's worth $8 billion. Well, Brady isn't. LeBron, not has any balance or anything, but talks to Warren Buffett. I mean, if he talked to Paul Allen, it probably wouldn't have been a problem because he's talked to him as long as Paul Allen wasn't while he was alive. I wasn't talking to him. You don't know what they're talking about for advice. What's the next steps? Because when you got $1 billion, it's a big difference having $1 billion and having 600 million.
Why would you okay, let's think about this. Why would you have the owner of the Miami Dolphins, University alumni, Michigan, big time donor, be talking to Tom Brady, quarterback for New England or Tampa, whoever he was quarterback at the time, on a boat, and then you have Brian Flores come and like, whoa, I can't be involved in this, and next he takes off. Why is that? You don't think he knew something wrong with that? He saw it.
Well, he knows there's something wrong with it because he can't, because it was riskier for Flores and it was riskier for Peyton. Sean Payton wasn't on that boat.
No, I'm just talking about those two that were on the boat. And
right. But what I'm saying to you, Flores, it was a smart move on Flores' side, because if he was on that boat, it would have caused them more problems. Right.
It caused him a problem. He lost his job.
He got fired or he quit?
He quit. Well, or did he get fired? I don't remember what happened. It's been so long ago.
Yeah.
All I know, he got blackballed. And then you had the other owners all in cahoots with this whole, we're going to go, let's talk about it again for a second. But Brian, the New York Giants, it's sad to say, they already had their guy they was going to pick. Belichick, got the names, got the Bryant wrong. You got the Denver Broncos, all these guys, going with these farce, interviews, for this guy, knowing that who they were going to hire already. And the same thing's going to happen, when with the Cowboys next year. If McCarthy doesn't win, guess what? Sean Payton's getting that job. I don't care. They could bring whoever, Brian Flores. They're gonna bring every African American guy they could think of. Sean Payton's getting that job if he wants it, or wherever, San Diego or wherever.
Let me ask you a question though. You're an owner. Let's say you're an owner, right? And you want a particular player or you want a particular coach for your team, and he's not available, right? And you haven't put the stuff in pieces to make it available, right? When that person's available, like, you got to go through your process. But at the end of the day, if that's the one you want, right? I think I have kind of a little bit of a problem with that. Like, that's the one you want. I have a problem with if that's the one you want because of color, right? That's a problem, right? But I'm just saying that's the talent, that's the person you want, right?
Don't bring me in as an African American or minority.
But they're forced to, though.
Guy's gonna get the job.
They're forced to. But look at Tomlin. Pittsburgh already knew who they wanted until they interviewed Tomlin.
Right.
So we don't know if that has happened before, right? Regardless of race, right? So let's say you're not a person of color. They think they already want Victor Orocho as their head coach. Okay. John comes in, or Joe Capral comes in, and he woos them. Victor Orocho, I'm a person of color. But you got John Rondenberg, and you got Joe Capral, and they want Joe Capral. And then John comes in and he wins them over. Right. And they go with the John. We don't know those things that happen because those never come up.
And it has happened in the past, where this guy comes in and was like, wow, I didn't know this guy was, he was like this. But don't bring me in for an interview when Sean Payton is getting this job. That's what I'm talking about, him. Because when next year, when those jobs open up, he's gonna be at the top of everybody's list. And they're gonna be, you know what? Well, let's go through a whole Rudy Ruling thing. They're gonna bring all these African American in, all these minority coaches, and whatever else in, and then they're gonna go, 2 weeks, whatever, how long it take. Oh yeah, well, we're hiring a guy that we always wanted at the beginning, Sean Payton. I would feel like a schmuck. You're gonna bring me in there and basically, I ain't getting a job. I already know I'm not getting it because this guy's getting. I wouldn't even go.
So let me ask you a question. So, me being in the recruiting world in the past, and some degree doing some of that stuff today and helping other companies, right? They even said that sometimes the experience going in for an interview at a higher level position is worth the experience going in for a higher level position. Right. So, you got to be careful. The catch-22 is, I don't know which one's right. I'm just saying to you, I'm just trying to play the other side of the game. Right. I know the person already I want. So should I just shut down all the interviews? Right. Number one. Number two is, you don't know if, that guy, the position he's in as an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, because usually those are the positions, right? You don't know that now you're learning something from this guy, and he may be the next one that you want as the head coach. Or you don't know that, wow, this guy is actually really good. He's still not my Sean Payton, but man, I would love to see, maybe he's my next offensive coordinator. Maybe he's my next defensive coordinator. Like, we don't know what happens there. Do I think there's some still, bias? Yes. Okay. So I'm not going to leave that off the table. So by no means am I defending that. I'm just saying to you that I think sometimes it's worth interviewing. Like, if there's an opportunity to interview for a CEO position and you're not going to get it, but they're willing to interview you, that preparation, you got to be prepared. It's a different interview than, as and you said it, it's a different, you're the CEO of the team. So interviewing as the CEO of the team is totally different than interviewing as the defensive coordinator or the offensive coordinator for the team. Right, that preparation, you probably have to talk to your friends that are head coaches. You got to talk, you got to learn that process, right? What is it I got to go through, and what should I prepare, and how should I present myself, and and probably do research on what their background is, because you can't come in. Would you agree with this? You can't come in as a giant coach unless you're Joe Judge, but you can't come in as a giant coach and try to convince them that we're not going to play big people ball, right? Like Giants play big ball, right? They like big line, big off defensive line. That's the ball, the mentality of the Maras and the Giants over history. You can't come in and say, hey, I want to run the run and shoot, right? So you got to know that going. So I don't know what the answer is. I just think that I don't think it's good that just because they know the guy, they shouldn't interview 4 or 5 people, right?
Okay, here, I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in the whole thing. Right. Eric Bieniemy, the guy Kansas City. There we go. I'm going to throw it out there. Mm-hmm. This guy has probably been on countless interviews as far as trying to get that job. Because of whatever he may not have done in his past, he keeps getting stepped over and shortchanged or whatever. But he goes on the interviews all the time. He has the best mentor sitting right, probably right down the hallway from him. And what's his name? Andy Reid. Andy Reid. There's nobody better, right now probably in the NFL as far as with a head coach and probably a good reference and right there. But this guy still won't get a job. But they'll still bring him in for interviews. Still bring him in, knowing they're going to give the job to somebody else. He gets done dirty.
Well, really? Two things though, because I'm also going to throw a monkey wrench in your argument. You've always made the argument though, when I bring up Bieniemy, that he doesn't call the offense. He's like, you gave it to Andy Reid. You're giving Andy Reid the credit, right? Yep. So I think that's an issue in itself, number one. And then number two, what I can answer though is, why are they interviewing, right? Like, if, in other words, if you're saying that and that's what people think and they feel, then why are you interviewing him, right? Because there's other African-American coaches out there or people of color. Why interview him? Don't just say, no, we don't want to interview you, but I want to interview Shaw. I want to interview, Lovie Smith. I'm just saying, I'm throwing out names.
But they were told
Ron Rivera.
They were told by the rules that they have to do this, so they're just going along with the rules.
I understand that, but they don't have to. They don't have to always do Bieniemy, though. I mean, he's gone out with so many interviews. Of them out there.
It's Byron Leftwich. Why did he get a job? What's his name? Bowles had to get. He got the job because.
But Leftwich turned down Jacksonville.
Yeah, I would have turned that down too. I'd have turned it down too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you say that, and then the other day, last time when they got that Houston coach that was just a dead duck, you're like, but you said it's worth getting a head coaching position.
Hey, you know what? He was 62 or 63 years old, and he's like, this is probably my last shot at being a head coach. Yeah, he was an older guy. And that's my last shot.
You should have been a lawyer, man. You come back. You got to come back for everything, man. And do you see my memory, man? You had said that. I go, dude, that's terrible. Oh, bro, you want to get that head coaching position, and you also said he's only 60-something years old. Yeah, so now you're saying to be a first-time head coach, that's older in the 60s. That is older. A lot of you figure Pete Carroll's 70. What's his name? Andy Reid's probably close to 70. Bruce Arians is close to, that's not a young man's spot, at that age. And, this guy probably was thinking, I don't know if he was ever a head coach at, any, high school or college or whatever position the guy was Houston, Texan coach. So, but like, what, let me go ahead and take this job. That's probably my last shot. Let me get this big paycheck. And then, whatever happens, either I can win, I lose, whatever, I'm still getting $4 or $5 million and I'll move along. But he got screwed. He was just a crash dummy for a year, and everybody knew that. Yeah, I think Leftwich is going to be a head coach. I truly believe that.
It will eventually. He's just going to pick the right situation. That's all.
I think Arians taught him well. One, two, I think that he's done a good job. Now he also to some degree is working with the best in the game. So he's learning from Brady as much as Brady's working and learning from him. I think he's in a great position. He's going to be a good head coach, in my opinion. I think he's going to be a really good head coach.
Let me throw another wrench in that. Why didn't Arians? I'm just saying what I was saying. Why didn't Arians step aside for him? Leftwich.
I brought that up. You're the one I brought that up. It was Bowles or Leftwich, which one it is. And I'm telling you, my theory, my belief, true belief is that Arians was an offensive minded coach, and him and Leftwich and Brady had some issues. You know what I mean? So I just think that he was. But he mentioned he was always looking at Bowles first. So, I think Bowles was always ahead of Leftwich in that position. It's weird because he's an offensive coach. But I just
also the head coach of the Jets at one time. So he's had that experience being
a
head coach. Bowles.
Right. And that's the other thing. He's had head coaching experience versus the Jets. But I just think that I think he did it just because to keep for Bowles to be you said it, to put him the best success, right? To be a head coach is not to also have to be, it's to be the best head coach. Leftwich, it may have taken away from the offensive side of the game, which is where, Brady was having an issue. They don't bring up Leftwich. I guarantee you that Brady didn't mention that he was upset with Arians coming in and redlining everything him and Leftwich did. Hold on a second. Without Leftwich kind of feeling the same, but had to stay quiet. I can't imagine Leftwich didn't have a problem with it.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this back at you again. We're just going back and forth like a tennis match.
Yeah, it was just
what was Bruce Arians' title was what?
Head coach.
Okay, as the head, basically he's the CEO of the country, the team. So it's okay for him to redline stuff if he wants to, because he is the guy. It's okay. There's not a problem with it. He's the boss.
I can't. I'm not saying that I can't answer that. I don't think I have a straight answer for that. But what I can say is that you have the greatest player ever, and
whoa. You said greatest player ever.
He's greatest of all time. Brady's not the greatest of all time.
No.
Who is?
Lawrence Taylor.
Okay.
He changed the way the position was played.
I get it, but okay.
If
that's how you feel. But right now, everybody's calling the GOAT, and they don't say Lawrence Taylor's GOAT. By me, Lawrence Taylor's one of the best football players overall.
They named him the best edge rusher of all time today, right? That came out. That was today.
No.
Yeah, that was.
But don't throw me off. Okay, so he's playing with one of the best players ever. Okay, and his offensive coordinator, which he has to have trust in, and they're both putting in work while he's icing his ankles. Okay, I'm just saying to you that had to happen more. I don't know. It's not worth getting into. I'm just saying that because Arians is gone, Brady came back, so I'm just saying to you. You can say whatever you want. Yeah, he was the CEO, but look how quick they get rid of the CEO to keep the player. That's my biggest problem with like regular business. A lot of time in regular business, when I had some clients that we were coaching and so forth, a lot of time they didn't want to get rid of the manager or they didn't want to get rid of the senior VP. When that was the problem, not the players.
He stepped down on his own, just so you know.
Okay. Brady came back too. Because on his own. Anyway, so let's keep going. All right, so you got Sean Payton, and we were talking about Sean Payton and Brady. You wanted to talk about that. Well, I guess we kind of talked about it, but was it more the tampering? What did you want to talk about? Them playing in Miami together? What?
Well, we covered all the tampering thing, them having the same agent. So, they had some kind of backdoor deal, and, one way or another, Sean Payton's probably going to be, the coach of the Miami Dolphins or whatever. I could care less right now.
He needs to go to Los Angeles. All right. So, breaking news. Rob Gronkowski's girlfriend, Camila Kostek, does not think his second retirement is permanent. You heard it on the Jersey Boy Sports Talk. I've said it how many times? I'm telling you, the brother's going to come back. When? I don't know. But I know he's coming. His girlfriend is telling this. And wait, he's going to go and yell at her? And what is he going to do? She brings it out.
Okay, here, we might as well make it all funny. That's his girlfriend, right?
Yes.
Girlfriend's only temporary sometimes. So by her saying what, I ain't going to guarantee. Probably in the next couple of weeks, you're going to hear about them breaking up because of her running her mouth as far as him coming back and not watch.
Let's see. Let's see.
I can see if it was his wife saying that or whatever. Man, that's his girlfriend, man.
I'm just saying to you, though, what was her purpose saying it just to get time?
She just want to hear some speak. That was it. So
she also mentioned that he's been working out. He's been staying in shape. I'm just saying. Okay, I just want to throw it out there. That's all I want to say. I want to throw it out there. I want to throw it out there. He's going back for his boy. He knows it. He's going to come back. His boy's going to call. And she even said, by the way, and if it's his girlfriend, she has to know Tom and Giselle rather well. Is that fair? Because Tom and Gronk are pretty good friends.
They ain't that good of friends.
What do you mean?
They ain't that good of friends. They don't go over his house like that.
Oh, man, they're really good friends.
Oh, I forgot. You play golf with all of them. So.
They're really good friends, bro. Okay. They're really, really, really good friends.
That ain't going to be his girlfriend about another month or two. So
okay, well, I'll check on that in a month, and we'll see what happens. All I'm saying to you is that she also makes the comment, Tom can be very persuasive.
Tom, this guy is having a time of his life, Rock. I'm sure he's at the beach. He's hanging out. He's partying.
What are you talking about? The guy was part of a CBD company or a cannabis company. I mean, he was chilling. He was saying he doesn't want to play anymore, blah, 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 and he still came back. All right, I'm going to leave it alone. I don't want to go too long on that. Okay, do you want to continue with the Deshaun Watson? We covered that, no?
Yes, we did.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one more Brady. I want to give you one more Brady piece. Okay, there is a news thing in a video that says that Von Miller stated he learned not to talk trash to Brady. So this was like another Michael Jordan piece. He said when they were winning like 23-7 or something, he made a 4th down play. He goes, "That's right, they're giving up. They're giving up." And then he goes, then it was 3rd and something, and they didn't get it. See, I told you they give it up. He goes, he said that Brady looked at him, gave him a little wink in his eye. He says, all right. They went for 4th down. They got it. He goes, the next thing you know, we're on our heels reeling back, and they made the run back. He goes, I will never, ever, and advise anyone to, and this is Von Miller. This is your boy. Just to talk trash. I'll send you the link. Talk trash to Tom Brady, and he goes, "I'll never do that again. I will never ever do. I should have kept my mouth quiet." I said, "I don't mind. I was pumped up and this and that. It's okay to be pumped up, but I should never say something to that guy."
Man, forget Tom Brady, man.
I'm just saying. I just want to bring those 2 points up that because you brought up the Peyton and the Manning thing. So as I was doing my research on what you brought up, those other articles came up, and when I saw those, I'm like, "Oh, I got to get into these."
Why don't you just go ahead and get your Tom Brady jersey, which you probably already have? And just
I don't have a Brady jersey. Yeah, I got a Victor Rocho valuable assets.
I'm sure you got a jersey somewhere hidden.
No, I don't have a jersey. Actually, I got a Michael Vick jersey. That's just funny. I don't know Michael Vick. All right, we're about to get wrapping up here. I thought this was good. What else you got? Oh, you have one more thing. Yes, I apologize.
Yeah, the passing of Bill Russell.
Oh man, yes.
88 years old. Lived a long, great life. That's my number one guy over Michael Jordan as far as the greatest player of all time. He was a team player, and he made everybody around him better. And you have Michelle Nichols from Star Trek, Lieutenant Uhura. She passed away too.
Oh, really? How old was she?
Like 88, I think.
Yeah, I also want to give a shout out to Nerida Flores. I called her Titi Neri or Nerida. She's from Perth Amboy. She's part of the Flores family, and I'm good friends with the Velez family. She just passed away like 2 days ago, and it was like a sudden thing. She had a heart attack. Her sugar levels were up. She was with someone to go to the doctor. So, and Byron, how there's just not a lot of people, but there are people that and no different than the shout out to always, persons in my heart all the time. Maria Serrano. I don't know if you remember her. She was 28 when she passed, but they were like, these people just the most kindest, considerate, loving people you meet. Like, you can have good friends and we get along and this and that, but someone who's just genuinely always just the nicest person you meet. You know what I mean? We all got our characters, and that was this lady, and that's who, for me, I kind of consider her an aunt, even though we weren't in blood, but she always, treated me like a nephew, and I was pretty sad. She was nothing but kind to me, when I was in high school and out through college and after college, and I just wanted to, God bless her, Bill Russell, and the lady from Star Trek, and just. Life happens. It's just crazy, especially when you don't know about it. Bill Russell was older, but man, Bill Russell looked really good too in his last time seen. I mean,
he was at the ESPY Awards or whatever.
With no problems. But when you're getting at that age, so hopefully he's rested in peace. And that guy was something else. He's great, stand-up man of character, and just an
activist. Great basketball player.
Everything. He was everything. He's the ultimate ambassador as an athlete, and then as an athlete of color, especially playing during that time and for Boston and living in Boston.
Yeah, boy.
I can't imagine that was easy, because it's still rough there.
Then we have the one last great thing.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend, Washington Park, the all alumni Perth Amboy reunion.
Oh, it's this week?
This weekend, Saturday. From 1 to 6.
I wanted to try to. So I live right across the street. That's where I used to live.
Where it used to be the votes.
The basketball. Where the basketball court is.
Yeah,
my house I grew up with is right across the street.
Okay, well, that's where they're having it this weekend.
Man, I wanted to go to that. I missed a few things. It's just a lot of things going on with the house. My dad.
Well, now it's called the Brian Taylor Park too. So you know.
So you got rid of Washington Park. They call it the Brian Taylor Park. Well, good. I think they should.
Yeah.
I mean, it's time, for change. But all of us are always going to remember by Washington Park, though.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Too. But when I was growing up there, Washington Park wasn't even the Washington Park it was. I'm talking, it was not good. Like, I made friends with a lot of bums and stuff that were sleeping in the park, and I'm just telling you, bro, it was growing up as a little kid, and that was just normal. These guys were passed out drunk, and there was 5 or 6 that would regularly sleep in the park. I'm telling you, that's what I saw. I mean, to me, it was just, oh, hey, that's so and so. That's the guy's named Punchy. The other guy's Willie. One was a superstar athlete. But just was an alcoholic. Things hit his life rough, whatever. But when he came on the court, bro, that dude would hit, Washington Park, when the old one, the basketball courts, that wasn't a legitimate full court. That was double the size.
Oh yeah, it was. I played on that basketball court one time. I was like, man, this is too far. It
was not a regular long court. That guy would hit threes from half the distance of that court. I mean, this dude was incredible. So hopefully God rest. I know his family and so forth. And but that's what we grew up with. But again, shout out to those people and bless those families. Send some prayers out to them, and hopefully they get some peace. And we go from there. All right, Byron. So we talked about a lot of different things this week. So I'm getting excited for the season. Let's see what's happening. See what happened with Jimmy G.
Tonight, don't forget, preseason game. Jacksonville. They're playing Jacksonville. Chicago, so I don't know, somebody. They're playing at 1 at 8 o'clock.
At 8, so it's already on now.
It's already on.
All righty. So let's finish it up like we always do. Gary Sinise Foundation.
Wait.
What do you got?
Sam Mills gets inducted this weekend, Saturday, to Hall of Fame. It's this weekend in Shrineman.
Oh, all right. We got to watch that. Montclair State, baby. Jersey.
And we're going to start rooting for Joe Klecko. He's next. Got to get him in.
We got to get the truck driver in. Freedom and security are precious gifts that we as Americans should never take for granted. We must do all we can to extend our hand in times of need, in times of need to those who willingly sacrifice each day to provide that freedom and security, or we can never do enough to show our gratitude to our nation's defenders. We can always do a little more. Gary Sinise. That's GarySiniseFoundation.org. That's for our first responders, our nation defenders. Every dollar counts. So if you could help out, we really appreciate it. Please don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the Sportscast and visit our website at thesportscast.net. Don't forget, we got the Jersey Boys Sports Talk on iTunes podcast. Listen in, go to YouTube, hit subscribe, hit the notification. You hear me, Brian, and a lot of our crew come on and have some interesting conversations. Join us every Thursday. What time?
8:00.
8:00. I won't be in the dark next time. I forgot how fast it went. Dark quick. No, it went from light to like dark, and I'm in black and everything. So I was trying to do the Byron witness protection, Byron witness protection program. Well, Byron, as always, it's great. I hope at least you're making sure your wife is feeling comfortable. Take her to a hotel, man. So you got air conditioning. I could not. I'm telling you, man, that's crazy. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Fans and everything, I couldn't do it. So, all right. Well, God bless. I hope everything works out with you, AC. We'll be talking soon. We're talking next week, and let's see what happens tonight. Who's the new coach over at Jacksonville?
Doug Peters. Used to be the Eagles.
Doug Peters, and then who's on Chicago that they're saying they're so excited about?
Eberflus. He's the guy that used to be.
Who's the quarterback again?
Oh, Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
They have a new head coach. He used to be the DC for Cincinnati Bengals.
So let's see how Justin Fields plays out and see how it goes. All right, my brother. God bless you and your family, the Jones family, and tell everybody I said hi at the reunion. And I used to school a lot of those brothers there on the Washington Park. I own that court, bro.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Listen to me. It was across the street from my house. That's all I did. And remember, they had that, by the way, that's how I busted my knee too, though. They had that one rim that was 9.5 and everyone wanted to dunk. Well, me trying to dunk earlier than I needed to. When I finally got a dunk, that's when I busted my knee. So the one dunk I got, busted knee. Never should have tried. Just dumb.
There you go.
Stupidity. All right, my brother. God bless. Love you. And stay tuned. 8 p.m. next week. Peace.
Yep.